Hello everyone and welcome to another of my post-event commentary series of last year's ABSP Masters. This round is between Allan Simmons and Neil Scott, and today I am joined by Allan Simmons.
Hello.
You've been winning quite a lot of tournaments recently. I feel like you've just been dominating the whole scene, and you've recently just won Best as well. How does it feel?
Well, the best was the icing on the cake in a way, although I did have an easy ride to get to the final. I think I was most pleased with winning the BMSC because we had a few tough Americans in there this year as well. I obviously feel I'm playing well, I'm playing right, so I do play quite fast these days. So until the wheels come off, I'll carry on the same way.
Of course. So, shall we get on with looking at one of your games from the ABSP Masters then?
Yes, if I can remember back that far, let's see how it develops.
Get it going, and you've got a pretty beautiful looking rack here. I mean, it's
Right, this is an
pretty,
easy one, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's normally there's hesitation about playing QI or not playing QI when you got QI on the rack. In this case, it was a clear change. A slight thought about, do I change the lot or keep an A back? I think I kept an A back because I didn't want to tempt fate of having all consonants next go, and I've got 4 of them, so the chances of duplicate next go were very low. So I changed everything apart from 1A there.
Really? Because what mine says online says you exchanged all 7, so
Right.
yeah, it doesn't really matter though.
Well, yeah. Well, another day I would probably change all 7. I don't think it. I think it's pretty marginal,
Yeah.
really. So I thought I noted to change. Normally on my score sheet I just write down change. You see, so
It's one of those
wasn't
things.
that.
Maybe Dad recorded the game much better than you did. But anyway, let's see if I can type E's. Why does everybody have quadruplicates on their opening racks? It's really, really pleasant. But anyway, Neil Scott's first rack. What do we think of it? Well, the first thing you'd think here is, geez, what a rack.
It looks like G's is the best play with that. Just a question of where you want to play it, really.
Those 4 E's are quite cumbersome.
I'd rather have 4 E's than 4 A's.
Yeah, E's go so much better together. If you've been studying CSW 15, you'll know that G's can now have 3 E's, but needs the J. So just one of those
Which I.
G's thingies. But really here, you are going to want to get rid of as many E's as you can. You really don't need to change because you've got the Z for scoring, and it's really quite simple, in fact.
Are we going to dwell on Neil's moves throughout as well?
Yeah, that's the idea behind it.
Okay.
Just looking at really everything.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about his position of G's? I mean, Quackle Championship player seems to be like 3rd best.
My thinking, I always like to bias towards the left of the board. I don't worry too much about if you're putting a bar next to premium square, you got to do that, then where that is. But I would always prefer to bias a word to the left of the board to encourage that side of the board to be developed.
Good reasoning there. But this G's is played. Let's commit it for his G's-ness.
Neil tends to play quite defensively, and I know that he would tend to go more for turnover and score than keep back a balance. So I'm aware of that.
Yeah, it's always good to know about how your opponent plays, because that really can help with winning sometimes. Like, I'm fairly sure most players are aware of my kind of strategy right now as well. It's pretty overly defensive in a way, but my word knowledge is very varied to the point where you don't actually know what kind of words I know.
Yeah, I tend to be a bit brave occasionally. I like to sort of toy with taking managed risks and to try and throw the opponent off balance. doesn't always work out. Anyway, with this rack, I saw there was 2 sevens there, maybe more. I saw Failure and I saw Refugia, Refugia. I might have played this one too fast, but I noticed I ended up playing Failure on long row 9 to the left. I know it scores more to the right, but I prefer to play to the left. It's probably about 10 points difference. Although if I was to play it again, I probably would play it along row 7 instead of row 9. I probably played that too fast.
So what's the difference between row 7 and row 9? Like, is it
score's the same? Well, I mean, you tend to look at the ease of scoring on that triple at A8 along there, and to see how easy it is to put a scoring letter on that double letter square beneath the F. I think they're probably equal in that respect.
Especially with the Z gone as well now.
Yeah,
the A below it maybe is quite less of a risk.
Because the F can have an E before or after it's really they're equal in respect of the threat of the A8 triple, but because I have already said I prefer to try and take the board up to the top left and to the left, I think Failure above would normally be my choice, but in this case I did play it below.
Yeah, Quackle seems to prefer it by quite a bit.
I mean, notice it takes out the sort of the score for the Z as well.
Mm-hmm.
It no longer score with a double letter square and a ZO or ZA play.
Mm-hmm. But also Failure along row 9 also cuts out kind of a lot of comeback 7-letter words.
If you look at all the only opening it creates of any score threat is that A8 triple. It takes out more than its opening.
Yeah, whereas Failure along row 7, you've got row 6 then to have a bonus down. You've got row 9 as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was thinking at the time. I would certainly not spend a lot of time debating it. I mean, don't forget, you limited on the time when you're playing this, and I would rather have lots of time on the clock at the end, so I don't angst over 2 moves that look very similar to me.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you weren't thinking too deeply about Failure there. Hopefully. But yeah, this Failure was played, and why does everybody have so many duplicates on their rack? It makes it so hard to type. But Neil's next rack has got triplets of duplicates, if we can quite describe it like that. It's a lot of awkward looking stuff, especially with that W. But of course,
I'd imagine, yes, I'd imagine he would. Well, one always looks for potential bonuses wherever you got.
As you always should.
Yeah, it almost looks like Sawaris, but otherwise I think he would be thinking must keep ES. So what can I do with the other 5?
Well, coincidentally enough, there is a 5-letter word with the other 5 letters.
Oh yeah, I can remember what he played. Was it woos or?
Yeah, it was woos. It was, if I could type, right here along row 10, making an interesting parallel.
Yeah, I mean that tells me he's got another S. Definitely got another S. I'm thankful for the fact he hasn't managed to use that A8 triple, but he has actually he hasn't really damaged it at all. He's made it even more of a possibility to score highly there.
Mm-hmm.
AW taking so many letters before it.
Yeah.
But he's doing what I think he would do. He just goes for the score with what he needs to play, and that's probably the best score he can get.
Yeah, pretty. Unless he wants to like burn all of his S's and E's, which is just completely unrealistic.
No. I mean, the only other consideration with that is just to play WOO at A8 A across.
Mm. But then leaving 2 S's, 2 E's.
Yeah, the problem is those S's are largely redundant on this board at the moment because there's no, as I can see, no S beginning opening and no S ending opening.
It's just no hooks in general, really.
Yeah, so by playing woos, he's at least creating an S hook on the end of ERE.
Yep. Can't fault that. So back to your rack. Finally, it's a little less complicated to type.
I saw a possible 8 there with a B on the board, but there isn't a B. Don't know whether.
Yes. I know that album.
Yeah. Board very tight. I think the play here has to be on that A8 triple somehow.
Yeah, it's just a shame that Noah doesn't fit.
Yeah,
Why isn't AF a word yet?
I have a feeling I almost played that not because I would have been looking at the board upside down briefly before he played woos. And sometimes you see plays which, when you turn the board around, discover that they form two-letter words that are not allowed. Yeah, that's a shame that I can't maximise the H on there, but this has to be use the A8 triple and balance the rack the best I can. Note actually here that we've got the IO between the two double letter squares. Shon is a good ending. And in fact, there's a wonderful ending, and so actually, I think I must have played Heyo here, HAO on the triple, which leaves the TN back for that possibility, and gets rid of the duplicate A. Playing something like OH, HAW, and OF is probably the best score.
Well, there's Thon, which championship players suggesting from 8A.
Well, then
while that does score the most, the rack leave is pretty ill.
That's not. Yeah, it wouldn't rank that highly if it evaluated it, would it?
Probably not. But I don't want to lag the computer by
No,
doing
no,
that.
no. That's also very defensively keeping a poor rack. What you're going to do next go with AUA? This board is too close for that sort of play, I think.
Yeah, Thon just completely destroys it.
I am ahead, and I'm thinking, okay, now I'm 40 ahead. That's half a bonus ahead. I can see potential with my leave on that board, so I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue with it. It's a pretty decent move, and it does what you want it to do, and it keeps tiles back for the board, and it's always good to think about what tiles you're keeping back that go with the board.
Yeah, I think you should always look for some selfish ingredient of a move, apart from the obvious score, turnover, general rack leave. But what is it you're keeping back, and how does that fit on anywhere on the board? Is it going to be some small advantage for you to keep those letters back in some way?
But of course, don't just keep letters back for the sake of keeping them back. Sometimes you can really destroy your move score by deliberately keeping stuff back, and you'll end up missing other good options.
Is this Neil's rack now, isn't it?
Yes, this is Neil's rack now.
So he can't play his bonuses with that rack, which is not surprising on this board.
Yeah, so this is probably the big disadvantage of playing pretty overly defensive. The fact that when you actually do end up with a bonus, you are relying heavily on your opponent to create the openings that you need to be able to get them down.
Yeah, and as I've already got a bonus down, I am playing comfortably 40 ahead and don't need to particularly open the board. Not that I've had a chance to do it anyway, but the board serves me well in this position, I think.
Yeah, when you have a lead, it's better to keep the board tight. When you're behind, you've got to open it. There's just no other way to describe that, really. But here there's just no obvious places to score, and that's probably one of the biggest problems you have with tight boards, where if sometimes you need good board vision to see where it is. Sometimes there's just no places to even.
You end up being forced to play letters you don't really want to play as well, and then you're at the mercy of the pickups more than your own skill control.
Really, the only place that I'm even looking at playing is like across row 7, and that's like 15 points. It's just just
Yeah.
rubbish.
You wouldn't want to keep the G anyway. The G is a cumbersome letter, really. There isn't. I mean, short of just playing O G double E on the double E in G's coming down row I, O G there. Short of doing that as a brave opening move to crack open the board, I don't see any other balance in play.
Yeah, it's really quite a difficult move choice to make.
And the trouble with that, even that, is that you're keeping 5 letters. You haven't got any openings on the board at the bottom. So your opponent will probably block that opening, and you're back to square one. So I think Neil, from looking at my score sheet, Neil goes for score here, and
he does. He burns that S and goes for turnover, which is pretty interesting. Like he's got a really nice rack that's quite synergic, makes bonuses, and he's kind of just broken it up completely.
That'll be typical of a Neil play. To think, well, he's looking at 40 behind, score, turnover, stay within touch, rather than he knows that if he goes for any sort of very low scoring balancing move, doesn't get a bonus next go, he's then going to be even further behind. So it's not a bad choice. I mean, he's scoring nearly 30 points there. I mean, the second best move is way below that. That's the problem. So.
Yeah, Neil was really stuck there. I can imagine he spent a lot of time thinking about that.
And of course, the longer he spends thinking about that, the more time I had to think about my options here. And I seem to remember that before he played Goiest, I was contemplating whether I had anything through the H. I saw Ocean Noughts with an O. Didn't play. Playing something like CAZ or CUZ was in my thoughts at the time. To sort of open it a bit up there without giving anything scoring away, but creating a bonus opening with the C, which is quite a good bonus letter.
And really, anything played there would score almost face value as well.
Yeah,
so.
But after Goiest, I think I played Gaunt fairly quickly because it's probably the most score I can get. It turns over 4. It uses a U. C is a good letter to keep back. ACE is a nice keep, but more so it actually prevents any good score on that triple letter B10. It makes that more difficult.
Yeah, when you're trying to be defensive, your opponent to try and play more parallels just limits the kind of words they can play. Because it's really hard to make words with letters in specific places that just fit everywhere.
I mean, he's just turned over 6 letters, so he's got a random rack coming out the bag.
Yeah.
But as I didn't know Couta. I don't think COUTA.
It's a good new hook for the new 4-letter word outer.
Yeah.
Good hook.
Yeah. But I think I would still play Gaunt. I don't know, does Couta take an S? But
no idea.
I don't think it's a plural, so I think I would still play Gaunt with that. The C is a nice bonus letter to keep back.
And it's a nice blocker in case Neil does actually make an opening.
You know, one could, if you're looking for squeezing out small advantages of keeping a C back, you've got the HA8 and the CH goes together. Mm-hmm. Very small little advantage, but it's something to bear in mind.
Definitely.
So, what's the scores after that?
118 to 283.
Right, so I am playing roughly 30-40 ahead here. So Neil's got a sort of balance with some nice scoring letters, which he needs to get, really. But the board isn't probably going to offer very much.
I don't think the board's offered very much all game. I mean, Neil here, his first thought is he's got a load of high value consonants, and he needs to get rid of at least 2 or 3 of them.
It looks like there ought to be something down from B10 there with that, like with an OMP AE. I can't think of anything down there. I mean, obviously, that's a place to look.
Yeah, it's the only place that really scores, and wherever you can score, you've got to make sure that you actually look at that place. But that's really, from B10 to the double word square, it's literally just the only place that you could even think about scoring.
It's if that was my position, and got 30-40 behind, I think I would be brave and open the top of the board by playing something like Fizz, F-I-Z. Keeping the MP for that B10 slot, keeping, there's possibility that MP goes together very nicely. I'm keeping back an A and an E. It's a good rack to leave. I think I would be brave at this point. Otherwise, the board's just going to close down, and you're going to end up playing the whole game behind.
Yeah. So what Fizz does is creates a bonus lane down column K, and it allows you to play parallel.
Yeah, and with the message you've got, sure there. Yeah.
And anything down column K would likely create something down column L as well, maybe even across, say, row 4 or row 3.
Yeah, it's not a dangerous opening. But it's an opening that can lead to things.
Yeah.
And give more choice about what you play next go.
Yeah, interestingly, Neil goes for score again here.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't use the E.
Yeah. I mean, from this point, there would only be 6 E's left on scene.
So he's probably thinking there as well that he's taken out that B10 slot. Stop me making any good use of it. It really leaves only a couple of bonus openings on the board now.
Yeah, really, row 11.
Yeah, and you got the T and the N beginning down the bottom left.
And then column A and B.
Yeah.
That's really it. Unless you can find an 8-letter word ending in Z. Or a 9 ending in EE. Or a 10 maybe with this ERE here. I mean, who knows? We're all Nigel, right? We're all going to find those plays.
Well, the most likely 8-letter word ending in Z is probably Strelitz. The most high probability.
It's assuming I remember how to spell it. It's been a while since I've seen that one.
Well, the plural is Strelitz Z, isn't it? I think something like that. Anyway, we drift away from the game.
Yes, we'll go back to your rack here. I mean, interestingly, Neil is actually only 6 points behind. So
after that move, yeah. So, well, I saw a bonus with an E. If there'd been an E on the board here. According to my notes, I wrote it down.
And now you can't see it?
No, there wasn't. There isn't one to play, but I'm thinking the Seascape. Well, don't forget, I'm looking at this before Neil has played, so I might be thinking, what do I want him to give me? If he plays, maybe he plays a bonus along row 11 from EREA and gives me a floating E. So often I would have written down on my score sheet possibilities so I don't forget them.
Yes, and it's always important to do that because so many times we forget things or we turn the board around and then we've forgotten what we wanted to play.
Now, okay, so I've got 2 S's now. Not a lot to do on this board. I mean, one could just put ups at A13 across, but that's keeping 2 A's back. I didn't like that. It's thinking about, well, what's going to happen beyond that? Well, it's all going to get even worse, really. So, oh yes, I played Kaz, didn't I? CAZ here.
Yeah, you attempt to open out that.
Yeah, so it's I would say that's a selfish opening because I'm giving myself the C floating. I'm encouraging the next play to open it, because if you put CAZ there, I'm encouraging a play from I7 across to open quite a pleasant set of 5 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Flexibility of S's. So I think I was happy with that.
Yeah, and Championship player likes it too.
Oh well, that's rare for me.
Yeah, but Championship player isn't doing any simulations, so
Yeah. Oh, I see. It's got spaz there as well as a possibility.
yeah.
That gives too much of the game away, I think.
Yeah, especially with the S at J5,
Yeah.
like it's a double.
Yeah,
And
that is just too. That is S is too open there, I think, and reveals that you've got 2 S. You had 2 S's, you got an S back, and didn't need to do that. So, right. So this is Neil.
yes, his racks are definitely getting more clunky.
It's a nice rack to have if you're ahead. Actually, it's not. It's clunky. You've got a couple of barrels. On a more friendly board, there'll be a lot of choices.
Yeah, these are kind of the racks that I like when I'm playing because generally the boards are more open. I can score a lot better, and in particular the consonants do go quite well together. So they're not as terrible as you might think they are.
So we could play something like BAMP. Oh no, sorry, not BAMP. It's ABAMP, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. But so long as Quackle tells me it's wrong, good enough.
Yeah.
Something like it, but that's actually a valid word.
I quite like to keep the K. I want to. Don't know why. I like the K is a nice letter.
Yeah. 1 point here. Neil has the L for a wheel.
Ah, right.
You can't really do much with it right now.
It's not. That shouldn't be a consideration in looking for the best play. I don't think it's a byproduct of a play rather than a requirement of it. So maybe.
Yeah, really, the only place to play is row 7 now. Neil has the tiles to score there. To score 20.
I might be happy with Balm there only because, well, it's, I suppose a minor factor that the M next to the L8 and MP is a kalimba. Oh, I might go for that.
Yeah, I would probably go for that as well if I saw it.
Yeah.
That would definitely be the best move.
That's the sort of word. If I saw, I'd be thinking, oh no, I must be spelling it wrong. It's a very fuzzy recall and things like that, and I wouldn't be brave enough to play it. But that's clearly a play there.
But of course, if you don't know it, you got to think of something else.
Oh, does he?
That's really.
Oh, I like that. Actually, yeah, cool. I like that.
Yeah. And then fishing. Why are we just playing the P? I don't get that. But oh well.
Because the next move opens it up, and maybe
the next move would be kalimba.
Oh, right.
That's probably what it's thinking of.
Well, not that it would be that, but it knows it can get that next go, and maybe there's a possibility of playing something like a like.
Let's not try and predict what championship player's thinking. She's a bit weird.
Does he play? Oh, you're looking down at the list here. He plays Malik, doesn't he?
Yeah, he plays Malik, which does open itself out for a big score across row 8.
Yes. The Fs have gone, which would be the biggest danger there. I don't think he would have done that if the Fs were unseen.
Yeah. The Fs are always the biggest risk when there are eyes in this kind of position.
So I don't think it's particularly risky. It's using 4 letters, which you want to do with that rack, really. Right. No, I know I missed something here because I wasn't sure of it at the time. And I tend not. I sort of decide before it's. Well, I'm waiting to play while Neil was thinking on this move, and I had this rack looking at me, and I couldn't remember whether Soapy's was allowed, and that it would have played under ES, so under lots or it could play there. So I couldn't remember.
Quite a few places.
I decided that I wasn't sure of it and I wouldn't play it before it was my turn. So even though he put Malik there for perhaps an even better score for it, I'd already decided I'm not 100% sure of it, which is why I played soap, and I think I played soap quite quickly. Yeah, given that I just couldn't be sure of soapies.
Yeah, and it's always important to remember that if you're going to try a bonus, your opponent is then going to know your whole rack, so Neil could then be really overly defensive next turn.
It's too close to, and I'm sort of in a position of control still.
Yeah, and you're holding nice letters as well.
I did look it up afterwards, and funny, soapy came in 1993. I think if it had been a very new word, I would have known it. I think sometimes these words that from been around for so long, if they don't get played at all, they just disappear off the horizon.
Just remember that word's been around longer than I have.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought.
So I've no idea whether soap is the next best play after missing the bonuses or not. But
no, I wouldn't either. Quackle seems to not care if you don't know. Quackle's like, if you don't know the bonus, get lost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't deserve to be on this board. Right.
Neil's rack is starting to look a tiny bit better again.
Yeah.
Less.
And I'm playing now just about sort of 30 ahead, aren't I?
Yeah, so you're 29 ahead.
He's playing catch up, coming level, and I'm then getting ahead again. So, he's got the B for cob, K-O-B, or the P for cop, and ISO is a ISO. So presumably there's things he can do along there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no other place you're drawn to score on this board.
It's because there are no other places to score really on this board. It's like it's become closed again.
Even if you wanted to open it up, I mean, that's why a play like Columba last go would have been perfect to open up the board and score a lot.
Would have definitely opened up a lot, especially since it stops. It would have Columba just stopped access to the A1 triple, so nothing really was going to come parallel beside it. So the floaters would have likely stayed.
Yeah, I mean, that play ticked all the boxes. So I guess it's bop.
Bop. It's bop. There's just nothing else to say, really.
Is that what he played?
Yeah,
bop.
It's bop. Can't describe it any other way.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he left the P alone, because I was thinking I'm putting that P floater there, keeping back IES. I need that consonant as a balancer for my rack.
Always important to consider the floaters on your board as well. Like, for example, if there's an A floating on the board, maybe you're more likely to want to get rid of your A, because you don't really need 2 A's in a bonus. Can happen, but you don't really need it. So it's always something to think about what's on the board.
I suspect I would have spent some time with this, making sure I wasn't missing anything with that P. It looks very nice. The rat looks nice with a P on it.
Yeah, P and H are really nice together. They don't have a very acidic relationship. And
then the T isn't the other best letter to work with down at A15. I mean, I know I didn't play a bonus here. I don't think there was one to find, but I know I spent a good couple of minutes just looking carefully. I mean, a bonus played now on this board would be very significant on a tight board.
So here you definitely choose to keep it closed rather than open, even with your potential of a bonus, right?
I don't value beginning with a T as very generous. I didn't want to put the H. I didn't want to play along there under KOPH, because that would take out the P. If I put just HE there, it would make it. It would limit that P. Anything like HAE or HIE or HE just there would limit that P. And even though it scores more, so I think I liked the fact that it looked defensive HE, but it wasn't really defensive. It was just scoring, because I didn't value the T as a big threat.
And there's really nowhere else to score. I mean, all of these look the same except for this word here, which scores 30 points.
30 points. Yeah, if I'd been 30 ahead, I might have gone for something like that, just to go, to go to bonus ahead.
But it is the last S on this board, and there's only
That's
one
true.
blank
Yeah, actually, yes, I've noticed that. Yeah, actually, I've now got the last S, so that is worth holding back on a level playing field until you've got an opportunity to perhaps even set yourself up for something.
Yeah, especially as Neil, if he realises like he's got the last blank or something, he could make an S opening that you could then not block because you've gotten rid of your S.
I mean, the other point here is that as well as that P, there is the S beginnings on lots and ERE along from there, and any play KOPH under there would take out that spot, which could begin with a D or an S. I don't think I overthought it too much. I think I probably played HE fairly quickly there, having eliminated bonuses.
Yeah, we were probably overthinking on it just now. So.
All right, this
it's
is
never
Neil.
too late to overthink.
Oh, it's
more duplicates here.
Oh yes, I've just remembered what he plays here now. Yes, he plays AND, doesn't he, at A7? Which I was quite happy to see him play. It did make me think he might have the blank on this rack. He's opened a very easy S-ending bonus lane down from D1 because you can have ands, which suits me, but perhaps he's done that because he's got the other blank on his rack. Right, it does help the board a lot because to me it means I've got the P floating over there. I've got the bonus lanes beginning with S along row 11 and 12, and I've now got D1 coming down there, and I kept back a bonus friendly rack.
And it really opened up an area of the board that was previously really inaccessible.
Yes, so, well, you say that, but it hasn't. It's very
really
limited.
Done too much.
You've only got one. You've only got two letters that would go there: the S and the blank. So
yeah, but it's opened it up and made it a big threat now. But I suppose you could always argue Neil isn't the bonus behind, so he doesn't really need to make the opening.
No, it's difficult. I wouldn't read too much into it, but he's going for score. He definitely is going for score there. At all, yeah.
Even though there are things that score similarly that don't open as much. So.
I mean, just looking at the unseen letters, there's lots of R's and T's left, and I's. So I'd probably note that sort of thing during the game. That a likely three-letter pickup is IRT there. So
it's where tile tracking comes in handy.
Yeah, if you just want to judge whether there's a threat of a bonus or not, you just count the number of letters of retain that you can see, and if there's a lot of them left, then that generally indicates
big risk.
Possibility of a bonus, and if there's less of them left, then less so.
So we'll move on to your rack now.
Right. I think I would rather have had a bonus here than the X.
Yeah, that darned power tile. The one time you don't want it and you got it.
Yeah, it's not an X friendly board, really. I
don't think it's a friendly board in general. I think it's a pretty horrible board.
I'm pretty sure I played this move quite fast because there wasn't a lot to think about.
Yeah, I can't really see there being much to think about. You want a bonus, you've got the S, you've got the opening, the X is screwing
I don't
up.
like to keep two L's back, but I played XI here, didn't I? Just under.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scoring enough.
Yeah, even though there's kind of that risk of
If
score
you look
underneath.
again, I said there's 5 I's unseen there, so it's quite It's quite a strong six-letter combination, particularly when you've got an S ending spot with the ands on the board.
Ooh. And there are plenty of R's and T's left for rallies or tallies.
Isolex, that's nice. Yeah. I wouldn't do any of those. I think I'll stick with XI.
I probably would as well. I don't want to overthink this by getting too many interesting extensions on the board. There we go.
All right, this is where he plays Trundler. Yeah, so despite a cumbersome rack, it's not really helpful on this board. It happens to fit in there.
Yes, how
that
lucky.
That was quite annoying, I think, at the time, because I thought, yeah, that rack wouldn't make a bonus in that corner.
And you've been playing so defensively as well, that for him just to get that bonus in.
I think I might have challenged that, actually.
You did, yeah.
Well, it's only 5 points, and I wasn't 100% sure of it, and also reading into it, he wouldn't necessarily be 100% sure of it either.
Yeah, agent nouns are one of those types of words where sometimes they're in and sometimes they're not. It's really just a case of learning these darn agent nouns.
Or apply some common sense to it. Yeah, but Trundler is not unreasonable. I expect that to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there are people out there that trundle.
Or even wheelbarrows.
Trundle. Yes, but we don't call them trundlers, do we? I'd love to call them trundlers. That would be way more interesting than wheelbarrow.
Right. This is me again. Right.
Yeah.
So there I picked up an I as expected. I picked up 2 I's, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If only you'd had like your vowel and consonant pickup.
That wasn't the plan. The plan was to pick up 1 I and a T, I think.
Yeah, and then you would have gotten your bonus, gotten back ahead.
Or something. Anyway, yes. Anyway, we are where we are. I think I was a bit frustrated here because Neil's got his bonus. He's gone 60 ahead, and I haven't got any great reply here. And my strategy has to be to get the bonus back. I think there's no point in trying to score a few extra points for turning over more letters here. I still fancied ALLIES as a strong combination on this board, so I just put the I on the end of X, at least to stop a parallel play there, scoring off the X, and if I happen to get a bonus with an S in the middle, it may pluralize the XI. So, but it wasn't especially opening it for me. That was really just I.
Yeah, scoring the most and making an opening.
The D.
Yeah, and there's also row 14 as well. You've got the last L's for a wheel as well. So the board is looking considerably more bonus friendly than it did earlier in the game. Yeah, I don't agree with these from Quackle. It's like when you're fishing, the fewer tiles you fish, the better, and really any consonant pickup with this 6-tile lead.
You see, 20. If I blew the last S in Isle as it's showing there for 29 points, I'm still 30 adrift, and the blank's unseen. I haven't got the blank. It doesn't look good for me.
No, it doesn't. So, with one U left unseen, Neil has drawn that horrible looking Q. But it's not so horrible on this board because there's finally a place to put it.
Yeah, and if I hadn't put the I there, he would score 9 more points, wouldn't he?
Yeah, so you've stopped him scoring 9 points.
Yes, that indeed. Yes, I seem to. I didn't know that at the time. Of course, I know it now. Yeah, I'm quite happy for him to. You always get the Q. Okay, QI. You can easily score 30, 40 with it. So I'm quite happy for him to play it and leave my bonus lanes alone.
And there really is nothing else to think about here. The Q is just ruining the rack. You're getting rid of your duplicates. Well, it's just so clearly the best play.
but it now puts him 80 ahead or thereabouts, and I need that bonus reply now, don't I?
You really do.
Do I get it? I can't remember now. No, I don't, do I?
Darn.
Is that my next rack then?
That is your next rack. You keep being a vowel magnet this game.
Let me just look at my notes here, see if anything. Yeah, okay, so it hasn't gone to plan. I just get rid of the duplicates here, I think. Creating another S beginning bonus opening by playing LEI and QI.
Yeah.
It's probably about the most I could score without burning the S, really.
The only issue with it really is that it now, any play kind of along row 14 or row 13 takes out both of those lanes. But then there's still column D, I'll get that right one day, and column O for bonusing. So it's not as terrible to have those lanes blocked as it otherwise could be. But Championship Player's now produced her best move. She really likes easel, if that's how you pronounce it.
Right, I can't see the board at the moment, Jess.
Oh yeah, I've gotta share it again.
I've got a picture of it here. I can't see where it's suggesting.
Yeah.
Oh, there, yeah.
Row 12. Scores 39, 41 points.
Years. Okay, just start going for score now. 41 points. Yeah, you're still a long way behind.
Yeah, you're turning over 6, so you're giving yourself a pretty
but I
good
suppose
chance
you've got to pick the blank up, haven't you? Really, with that strategy, it's still.
Because I mean, being 90 points behind at this point, by playing lay, like Neil's probably going to get like 20, 25 points next turn. Like what normally happens.
There's not a lot of scoring played on that board apart from bonuses, though, so it's going to be difficult to score a lot.
But if he's holding an N, he's going to get a big score.
You need an N. You need an N to score mostly on that board, I would say. Apart from that, you score very little trying to block the P. You can't really block the and the board at all. Can't be blocked. So I think threatening a bonus forces him to sort of perhaps score very little.
Perhaps. We live in hope.
Try and block. Yeah. So, right, that's his next rack.
So it's a good rack for blocking.
I mean, that's what you want when you're that far ahead, really. A nice V on your rack. You can't worry about the top left of the board because you can't do anything about that, really. You've got the N for QI, N, so I can't think he can play a 5-letter beginning with N long there.
Unless we make one up. And then you'll just challenge it off anyway. And then Neil also can't really worry about the P because like he's just scoring.
Yeah, I mean, if there were lots of vowels left, and there aren't, looking at the distribution left, actually, it's very chunky on consonants rather than vowels. Something like BIEN along row 13 from F13 there. Although it opens up a QINS spot there, any play along there is going to give away a triple in response. But I wouldn't do that with looking at the vowel situation because you're keeping back VGD. You need it to be a vowel heavy bag.
Yeah, and there's 3 A's, 2 E's, 2 I's, 2 O's, and a U. And that's what 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 29. It's terrible vowel odds.
I mean, if you want to block that bit, then even just VIN, where BIN is VIN there, just, I mean, he can afford to do a move like that.
Yeah, really any play.
VIN takes out all those. VIN takes out all those spots in the 70 ahead. What does? Oh, he plays bend, doesn't he? BEND.
Yeah, he plays bend. It's not come up here. Strangely, all of the plays that I suppose the only real issue is for Neil to kind of lose the game from here is to have you bonus off the P for say
Yeah.
about 80 points.
I
Because
quite like that's Jives, not Gived. It's Jives. It's pronounced Jived. That's quite a nice play. I like that.
yeah.
Taking that.
It blocks row 13 off, and any
Yeah.
bonus along row 14 is not
Yeah.
going to hit the double unless it starts with a vowel. So
But
anything
more,
is going to get about 60 points.
but more importantly, it's scoring 30 points, which is putting him, 100 ahead.
Yeah. And 100 is the magic number to be ahead.
Yeah. So he's ahead by 100. Any bonus reply is limited to about 70 points, and then he's still going to be well ahead.
Yeah.
So, given that what I can see now, I'm quite happy for him to play Bend.
Yeah. Given what he plays. And in fact, you did manage to get your bonus off the P. So Guide would have been the best move.
I played this very promptly, almost instantly. It was my
imagine you did. Can't imagine you just sat on it too long.
No. I mean, what I mean, I didn't have to hunt for it. I just had to pray that he didn't block it.
Yeah, he almost blocked it.
Did I have anything? I didn't have anything ending in S down D1 with that, did I?
No, Pale Tots has come up as the only bonus, so I can't imagine there's anything else.
I think I got a challenge off Neil for that as well.
An extra 5.
I'll have those 5, thank you very much. Which brings us nicely level.
Yeah. Going into a really nifty closed board part of the game here.
Yeah. Are we allowed to use the top of the board in tournament play?
I'm not sure. I think maybe it's banned for the purpose of the Masters. But here it's because the fact that the final S has gone and there's now one blank left. The game I feel is almost going to become a blank tile game in a way, because either of the players that gets the blank is likely going to win, because they don't have to worry about column D getting blocked.
From Neil's position, he hasn't got it, and I've just turned over 7 letters, so not that he can do anything about it, but it would be a worry that I would have to blank after that move.
Yeah, and he's picked up a really horrible looking VVY, or at least VY, because he already had a V. Yeah.
Well, things are level. He can't do anything at the top there at all. All he can do is play down the bottom right with that. Right, he's got Bendy. Not that it helps at all on this board. He's got to use the V.
That's really the only thing that I can see on this board. Like, there really is just nothing.
Even if it had been more open down there, back in return uses the 2 V's. And as you say, whoever gets the blank is going to.
Yeah, I didn't quite finish the championship player thing. I stopped it early, but
if he doesn't use the V's, just go and he goes for something like Tig or Gate that you're showing there, then he's going to get stuck with the V's as well, which is not going to help.
And you really don't want to almost be forced to change right before the end, or
no.
And V's particularly on this board, like there's really no places to really dump them off except maybe here.
The Y is always a very good letter to hold on to pre-end game. Coming up towards the end, no matter what happens, because it's flexibility.
I like Ys. Ys are good.
Right.
Except on this board, they're not so good, but they're generally good.
Right. Well, I think I played this quite fast as well. Once Neil played his move, because it sort of sealed it. I mean, really, there's only one place to look on here, and I'm thinking if he's got the blank, let's say he plays the bonus down from D1, he's going to provide floaters. I've got to get rid of the J. I've got 2 R's, so JR. It has to be JORS from L15. CRED could be quite nice with some floating vowels if he does play a bonus. So I could reply. There's a reasonable chance I might reply to a bonus if he has one with one myself to end up ahead at the end of the game, because he would have emptied the bag with his.
And importantly here, you have the final E.
Yeah. Do I? Yes, I do. Yeah, yeah.
You do.
I would have noted that because I've been I would have been child checking carefully. But yeah, it's not that I've got a lot of choice here. But JORS played fast because it's the right move to do. I don't
Yeah,
think
and
it's
it also doubles J, whereas the other option of
be interesting to see what other
Jerd,
moves.
Yerd,
Right,
Jerd,
yeah,
however we're pronouncing it.
that keeps another vowel back. So nothing involved, but
So you'd be more likely to be able to bonus through the consonants that he'd give away, that Neil would give
yeah,
away if
yeah.
he did bonus.
8, 19. That's 12 versus 19. So that's 7 less. Psychologically, sort of
Yeah.
being just one behind, slightly more pressure on Neil.
One would hope so, anyway.
So it's difficult to feel you're putting pressure on the opponent when you don't know where the other blank is.
Yeah. It really is becoming that blank game now. Not blank as in, like, nothing on
Well,
the
the top
board.
board. Yeah. Right. Okay. This is Neil's rack. That's a pretty cumbersome rack.
Yeah, neither of you seem to want that blank.
I think you'll find I've actually ended up wanting it more. He plays down there somewhere, doesn't he? He must play. He puts the. Was it a? No. You. What can he do? EGER is the word, isn't it? Does he play? Yeah.
He plays Yug backwards.
Yeah.
He plays Guy. It's pretty much now the only place to score if you're not holding the blank.
I might have actually played Tug. It's marginal, a couple of points less, but that Y again is it's a nice letter.
Yug over Guy. What is the difference between Yug over Guy, and why is there like 2% difference between it?
Even though Guy scores 2 points more.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
No.
But Tug comes in the middle, so
Yeah. So I quite like to keep the Y in this type of situation. Okay.
You've drawn the blank.
Yes. Now I think I spent some time on this one because. Right. Okay. So the thinking here would be, okay, I got the blank. That has to be an S to score down from D1. It looks like it can't be blocked. Without looking at what I can do I play 2 letters and hope to get something and a vowel out the bag to play down from D1? Or do I try and leave one in the bag? From the unseen letters, clearly the most likely letters are an A or an I, which is helpful to me because it's a vowel that I need. So I started by looking to see whether I could play the C or the M anywhere, or even the D, to see what 7s I might get if I pick up an A or an I playing one letter. So I could put the M at B10. That was one possibility. And then I can see if I get an I would have directs or credits. If I get an A, I would have redacts. So that works for my strategy. Just can't play the C anywhere, so that's no good. And I think if I played a D somewhere and I picked up an A, is there Mercats? MERCATS?
You're asking the wrong person.
I'm asking Crackle. But the I doesn't help with that. So I think it has to be the M. I decided that I'm giving myself, there's 9 unseen, four chances out of 9 to get a bonus here. And if I play the M above the NA just to get that 1 extra point over MO.
You never know if that 1 extra point would have come in handy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's no other
the only way he could really block the S opening is, like, all I can see is playing something like ratios down column E. But even then, you're going to have a bonus back down column F. Oh dear, Quackle won't finish here, so I'll just play. No, we'll never see what's best. Oh no, it's yeah. Oh well, we might as well wait to see if it's finished. It'll probably like hate me or something. New rack, and hopefully, championship player will finally decide to stop thinking about the previous. But if she does go back, you know, yeah. Oh look, here we go. Mo was best. Oh no, Mo wasn't best because she's now. Championship players just decided to combine this rack with the previous move, so screw her. Screw her. She can't even think.
Yeah, she's gone to pieces at the end of the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I know what Neil does here because it's all he can do, really. He tries to at least make it difficult. Don't forget there's one in the bag, so
yeah.
He can still hope that I can't play anything ending in a vowel. He plays trios, doesn't he? T-R-I-O, I guess.
I mean, he can really only hope that, like...
Yeah. If there's a chance of your opponent having the right letters to lose, you've got to go for it.
Yeah, I suppose only the E or the blank in the bag is probably gonna...
If the blank's in the bag...
Then you can't bonus anyway.
No, I can't bonus down there, but ending in... No. That's right, yeah. So he needs the blank in the bag. Really.
Yeah, which is probably why.
That's his one chance, really.
Yeah. Not sure how we're going from 37%
in which
to...
case, if he needs a blank in the bag, in which case you needn't worry about the A and D spot anyway. He might as well. But not there's anywhere else to score, is there, really? So.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Quackle playing one tile is like... It wants to maximise its spread, so it's prioritising fishing for the bonus. For some reason. But the game is pretty much lost at this point. I mean, look at these valuations here, -100. It's not the nicest number in the world.
So let's not keep our audience in suspense. That's my next rack. I think having got to this position, I was so happy to pick up an A. I didn't really spend ages looking for the highest scoring play. I just played the first thing that came to mind down there, just being so pleased to be able to get over the line and win this one. So I played. What did I play here?
Hopefully, you played a valid bonus. That would.
I'm sure I did. I didn't play seed rates, did I? No, I must have played core dates. I think I played core dates. Yeah.
You played core date.
Which is, I think there might have been something more.
There is something more. Yep.
Which was traduce, yeah. Should have seen that if I'd gone through the vowels, but as I say, I was happy for the 63 points there.
Yeah, you can't argue with 63 points and a win from Neil having like a 90% chance of winning. You've come back and destroyed it. Yeah,
I think Neil's mistake there. I mean, not that I didn't make any mistakes, but I was playing bends. I think that jived play was a turning point. I mean, retrospectively, because I played Peltots there, but even not knowing that, jive was score and defensiveness outweighed and uses the V.
Yeah. If only he'd have known about it at the time, right?
Yeah. The interesting thing with these is that it's easy to forget that the players are looking at their rack and thinking before the opponent has played as well, waiting for their move. And there's a lot that goes through your mind about, will that letter be left available? would they give me a floating letter? What would they do to the board? So sometimes you have all your thoughts lined up, ready to play, and then it's ruined by the opponent's move, and you have to think again. Sometimes the opponent does something which doesn't touch your thinking and doesn't affect it, and you play straight away. So the annotation never reflects the sort of the nervous weight.
The annotators have so much to record that they can't record player body language so much. But either way, that concludes our game. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon, Alan. It's been great to have you.
I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
And thanks to everyone who's watching this video right now. I hope you enjoyed it as well. And join us for the next game, which will happen at some point in the future. I can't remember who it's between. I'm not going to bother looking up now. But, yeah.
Well, I'm glad it's happening in the future, not the past.
Yes, definitely. The game in the future that happened in the past. But either way, we'll see you all next time.